Hello everyone and welcome back to Dirty Zeros in another episode of Instruction Skippers, the series where I save you from having to read the instruction manual and just teach you how to play the game. Today I'll be teaching you how to play Too Many Cooks by Jara Bloomfield. Yeah, Bloomfield. Too Many Cooks is a fast-paced, collaborative board game where you and up to 6 people work together to make the best soup possible, or making sure everyone stays happy. Just before we jump into today's video, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to you guys. Our last instruction skippers, our first one, has done remarkably well. You can see, wow, look at all these views. It's not massive in the grand scheme of things, but it's big for us, and that really means a lot. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode. But for now, we'll jump right into it. So in this video, I'll be running through the setup of the game, how to properly lay everything out, and I'll also be running through the gameplay and to make sure there's no confusion with how the game should be played and any rulings that you may be curious about. Everything that's timestamped will be in the description of this video, so you can just skip around to where you need to find it. But if you need just a fully general understanding of how this game works, strap in. We're doing that right now. If you like a bit of flavoring for this game, this game sets you and your 6 friends, up to 6 friends, as chefs. You are all trying to figure out how to make the best soup possible. But the difficulty is you all have different tastes on what you like and dislike about different soups. This game asks you, the player, to be able to set out the perfect soup without explicitly saying to the rest of the chefs what you like and dislike about the soup. It's a game about communication and insight to make a soup together with a little bit of chaos in between. So let's get directly into the setup. Wait, hold on. There we go. You'll be happy to know that setup for this game is not difficult whatsoever. So we'll get right into it and we'll be very quick about it. To begin, you want to open up the box and you want to find these 5 star cards and put them the right way around for the audience to see. Wow. This is going to represent how well you are performing in this game. You're going to take 2 of them because you're going to start off as a 2-star restaurant. And you're going to just put them somewhere that everyone can see, right there. Look at that. We start off as a 2-star restaurant. After every successful round you and your fellow chefs end up pulling off, you'll be getting an extra star. We're starting at 2. Now comes the task of deciding how difficult you want this game to be. There is actually 3 different difficulty settings in this game. It is recommended that you start, obviously, at easy. However, there is also the moderate difficulty and the hard difficulty. So have a good talk with your friends about what sort of difficulty you want to have in this experience. As I said, it is recommended that you start at easy, or you could do the dumb thing like me and my friends did and start directly at hard. Don't do that. Just save yourself the headache. Go start easy. It's stressful enough. If you want to see how stressful this ends up being, you can actually come check us out playing it here on the channel. There'll be a link in the description of this video of us playing the game directly on hard mode with no prior experience of playing this game. It went great. But otherwise, back to the setup. For the sake of this video, we have decided going on easy. So we're going to set this little soup-based deck directly at the top near the stars. And this will be setting up the soup base. I'll explain what that means in a second. You're going to then want to go through this little face card deck and you want to find the easy mode version of this card. They will all have the face of this disgruntled man on the back of it. It also says easy on it. So you want to pull out this specific set and then set aside the ones that say hard and medium. You can place this deck right here for now, though this will move later just to be a bit more convenient for you. I'm just putting it here so I don't forget about it. Once we've chosen this difficulty, now we're going to jump over to the vegetable cards. The vegetable cards are the bread and butter, not literally, they're vegetables, but they're the bread and butter of how this game operates. So you want to separate each vegetable. So we've got tomatoes, we've got garlic, eggplants, we've got the shrooms, carrot, onion, potato, and finally carrot. You'll notice that every one of these vegetables have different colors. It does not matter, just separate them into the vegetable categories and then set them in piles next to your game board like this. Do ensure that there are 4 on each side and with enough room between to be able to play out cards in a 4x4 grid. Now to set up the actual round of play. This game is played in 3 sets of 5-minute rounds, each getting more difficult as it goes along. So, we're going to set up round 1. We're going to take our soup-based deck that we had set here just earlier, and we're going to flip the first card over to be directly next to it for everyone to see. It will give us a layout grid of vegetables and colors that are meant to sit right here. See that, camera? Right here. So, you and your friends will take a quick note of that, and you're going to lay it out as this card says. It helps if everyone kind of pitches in and helps, but I'm by myself today, so I'll just get to it. Took a bit of time, but it's all done. As I have just said, this is now identical to each other. This card is now displayed here in 4 rows and 4 columns. You see? You see? Now that the board is properly set out, it is now time to assign everyone their own tastes. As I just said before, this game is played in 3 5-minute rounds, each increasing in difficulty. The way it increases in difficulty is that each player will be given more of these cards per round. So, for the first round, you will deal out, or you shuffle this deck and you'll deal out 7 cards. So, I've now dealt out these 7 cards I've got here, which I'm going to explain in a second. But an important thing to note that as this game increases in difficulty, you'll be getting more of these per round. So, the first round, as I've just said, you're drawing 7 cards. For round 2, you want to draw 9, and for round 3, you're going to draw a whopping 11 cards to distribute between the players. You'll now distribute these 7 cards as equally you can amongst the players you have around the table, to a maximum of 2 per player. The cards you get are a secret, so you're going to keep that to yourself. You're going to keep this to yourself. Now, there is a more likely chance than not that the number of taste cards you have do not divide equally amongst the players you have. That's done by design, because the cards left over, we'll say that we've given these 4 to other players at the table, and we have this 1 card left over. What do we do with this? This is a public information taste, something that everyone is aware of and needs to fix. So, we're going to put that one up here for every player to be aware of something that we all need to collectively fix, on top of the cards that we need to deal with. Now, I'll be explaining exactly how these cards work in the gameplay section as we're about to be showing up right now. But as for how setup goes, you just need someone to grab a 5-minute timer and we're set to go. So, let's jump directly into how this gameplay works and how you can make the perfect soup. Once you guys have decided who is going to be going first amongst you guys, the game will begin. Timer starts, 5 minutes, begins counting down. Let's run through exactly what you can do on your turn to affect the soup, and then we'll be explaining what these cards do. To affect the soup, you pretty much have 4 actions you'll be able to perform. Action number 1, you'll be able to change the color of one of these vegetables. Now, it is important to note that you can only change the color and not the vegetable type. So, if you want this orange, red, orange, eggplant to be green, you'll swap them out accordingly. However, if you want to change what vegetable this is, you can use your second action, which is taking this green colored eggplant and changing it for a similarly green colored carrot. You can change the vegetable type as long as the color is the same. Now for action number 3. You'll be able to shift the orientation of each vegetable. You can either move everything down and rotate it, like so. You can do the same going upward, like that. Or you can do the 4th action, which is the same as that last action, but you just shift everything that way on a bit of a rotation belt. You can also do the same going back that way. So they are 4 actions. Changing the color of your vegetable, changing the vegetable with the same colored other vegetable. You can rotate the column or you can rotate the rows. Great. Now with all these tools under our arsenal, we can finally discuss the well-awaited question. What are these? What to do? Everyone will have their own secret little taste cards. You'll have at least 1 or 2 or at least a good handful of these public taste cards. These are pretty much instructions to how to make this soup work. So this public one is asking for at least 2 identical potatoes. So I can recognize that there is no potatoes on this field. So I need to start making potatoes. So I'm going to change the color of this carrot to green. And then maybe on someone else's turn, or if it comes back to me, I'm going to take this other green. Oh, wrong one. This other green potato. Now because I have at least 2 identical potatoes, this will flip to show this green happy face character up, because we are fulfilling the requirement to make this taste happy. Let's have a look at what's in my hand. Let's see if I can make my character happy. I need exactly 3 eggplants. As you can see, I've kind of got too many eggplants to deal with. And then, for my second taste card, I need at least 1 eggplant, which shouldn't be a problem with my other taste, but I need at least 1 corn. But take note, this is asking for specifically at least 1 green eggplant and 1 orange corn. What have we got so far? We do not have a green eggplant, nor do we have an orange corn. We have got some work to do. So I've put my taste down here so you can see. To make my taste a little bit more compatible, this is what we would maybe try and do. So we need to start removing some of these eggplants to get closer to 3. We also need more corn. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this eggplant, I'm going to move it here. That's a red eggplant, so I'm going to trade it for 1 red corn. Very nice. So now we've got 4 eggplants. I just need to get rid of 1 more. I'm going to change this blue one to be a blue mushroom. I didn't necessarily need a blue mushroom there. It could have been any sort of blue other vegetable. But what was important is that now I have exactly 3 eggplants of any color. So I get to flip this up and happy like. Now that is almost all good. I'm just missing 1 green eggplant. So on another turn, I'm going to take the green eggplant from this pile. I'm going to change it out to this. Now, all my cards are happy. As you can see, I flip these cards face up whenever I'm happy. And you may be wondering what the point of that is. Because I'm holding it in my hand, I know when I'm happy. But you can see the other players may not know what's in my hand, but they'll know if I'm happy or unhappy depending on the orientation of the cards. It is important to note that it is recommended and encouraged that you verbally affirm good decisions and bad decisions of your fellow players, but in a way that doesn't give away exactly what your taste is. It specifically says not to be like, I do not want that carrot in my soup. I do not want this corn to be blue. Oh, can you not change this to be this? You know, there's things that lead on a bit too much. It's better to say things like, this soup is disgusting, or you are making a very bad soup and I really think you should be reconsidering how you make soup in the future. Things like that will help your players to know that things aren't going well for you. However, you can also say on the other end of things, this soup is delicious. Boy, am I happy to be a chef with you, a perfect cook who knows exactly how to make a good soup. Then people know that you're in the happy zone. So it's about good communication without giving it away. It's a fun balance, and it is most fun when you don't spoil the game in a too leading way. So now we're coming toward the end of the round. The 5-minute timer has either come to a complete stop, or everyone around the table passes their turn and everyone is happy, with full smiles across the board on every card. The round ends, and then everyone gets to evaluate if their tastes have or have not been met, and depending on how many tastes have been met, you get a variety of different results. First of all, we'll start with the most positive. If every taste of every player, including the public taste, has been met, congratulations, you've just gained a Michelin star. I assume Michelin isn't like copyrighted. You gain a star, because look at you. You're a 3-star restaurant now. If everyone except one taste has not been fulfilled, you do not gain a star, nor do you lose a star, you stay stagnant, which is actually pretty nice for all things considered. If you have failed 2 or more tastes at the end of a round, you lose a star, which is very cutting to my ego and psyche. Now, you don't lose the game, you just need to keep working your way back up to hopefully gain that star back in later rounds. If you have no stars, and you are required to lose a star after another round, players lose. Your shop closes down and you cry yourself to sleep tonight. It is a grim sight, but you probably should have cooked better soup. What can I say? And finally, if 5 tastes are not fulfilled by the end of the round, the players just lose. Even if you're like a 4-star restaurant, bam, shop's shut down. It is a work health and safety violation nightmare in there. You're not going to be able to cook anymore. What can I say? Sorry. I guess I'll say that. However, with enough willpower and good communication skills with your fellow chefs, you will gain 5 stars and win the game at the difficulty level you have set, with the potential of now moving on to the next difficulty level and improving your culinary skills as a world-class chef. However, let's assume you have indeed succeeded in your taste and you now move on to round 2. Round 2 sets up exactly the same. Put all the cards back in the piles that you've just gotten them from. The vegetable cards. So, after resetting your board, you now may begin to set up part 2, round 2. You're going to grab the easy soup base top card, and now you set up the soup just as before. Then, remember when I was saying that you have to increase the number of cards, taste cards per round? Yeah, last round again was 7 cards. 7. This round, round 2, is 9. So draw your 9 cards, deal them out as equally to each player as possible, 2 cards maximum, and then put the remainder up and they become public taste cards. Then that happens again. You either win, gain a star, lose a star, lose and stop the game entirely. Then it's round 3, 11 cards, reset, get the board going. It is a very simple and intuitive game that flows very easily, so you should be able to pick that up very quickly. Assuming that you have now just succeeded in gaining all 5 stars, simply, you win the game. Congratulations. You have made a very successful shop and made great soup, good soup, for many people across your preferred city in your headcanon of this restaurant. Now, if you are satisfied with just playing the 1 difficulty level and moving on, you've done great. Proud of you. You've made a restaurant that I would love to eat at. However, if you are interested to make this a bit more of a challenge, you can play the all-day soup game variant. You may start on the easy difficulty, moving up each round with each 5-minute increment. 7 cards for the taste, 9 cards for the taste, then again 11 cards for the taste. Then, once you've completed easy, you move the easy away and then you put in the moderate difficulty. Then you play like that again. 7 cards to taste, 9 cards to taste, 11 cards to taste. Then you move on to the hard difficulty and so on. And then you will run the full gauntlet of an all-day super menu and claim ultimate victory. That is a much more challenging game mode though, and if you're not familiar with this game, definitely start off with easy and then move up accordingly. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Now you'll take note that there are more than 11 cards within this deck. There is another extended game rule known as the unreasonable game rule, where you deal out more cards than are initially intended for the game. You can deal out the full deck if you really want to, but that'll be amazingly difficult and that'll be very impressive if you can keep up with it. But I believe in you. Follow your dreams and do it. Too Many Cooks is a great collaborative game that requires every player to be insightful and work well as a team, and rewards good communication skills, even if you're being a little subtle about it, to make a very great soup that you all are proud of. If you want a good run through of how this game plays out, turn by turn, round by round, you should 100% go check out our gameplay of it. Myself and a few of the other members of Dozy Zeros have played this game, and if that video has been released, you'll find it in the description of this video. If not, it'll release in a couple of days, so you can be a little patient. However, if you are interested, please go check that out. We'd love to see you over there. Thank you all for watching another episode of Instruction Skippers. If you guys are liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing the video, jumping on our Discord, you mean the world to us. Your support is what keeps us going. Thank you so much. It really does keep us moving. Thank you. But if you like this video, you'll probably like our other stuff. Go check out our other Instruction Skippers if you're lost in some other games that we may have played. You can also go check us out when we play some other games that may or may not have been covered in the series. We have played a lot of games, and if you're interested, I think we'll get a good laugh out of you. We also love D&D, and most of our channel based here is in D&D. Go check out our longer form series where we're delving into mystical and fantastical worlds of darkness and ruin and mystery. We hope to see you there. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next Instruction Skippers. Farewell. Goodbye.